the City Council meeting for Monday, August 23rd, 2021. If we could rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Holly, will you call the roll, please?
Lanyon?
Present.
Pratt?
Here.
Bellinger?
Present.
Weiss?
Here.
Rhines?
Here.
Gilroy?
Here.
Hanson?
Here.
All right, we have a full council this evening. This is great. Welcome, Terry.
Glad to be here.
All right, I'm looking for an approval of this evening's agenda unless there are changes that need to be made.
Motion to approve the agenda as submitted.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Audience participation, we have a maximum of 5 minutes per presentation. If there's anybody in the audience that would like to come forward. All right. And now I'm looking for approval of council meeting minutes of August 9th, 2021, if there's no changes to be submitted.
So moved.
Thank you.
Support.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Moving along, we have accounts payable, Noah.
Hi, I had a chance to review accounts payable. All the council members should have received an email. There were 2 checks that were in question for more details. One would be posed to Scott relating to the vector and the curb, and didn't understand all that information, but the cost of the repair of that area. So I don't know if you'd like to explain that a little bit. And then there was another check that was related to radios and a cost for some mobile radios and that. Other than that, everything looked fantastic. So I am going to ask or make a motion to approve check 74612 dated 8/3/2021 to 74662 dated 8/13/2021 and ACH 4662. Okay, 10. Well, I wrote 4610, okay. Excuse me, make that a friendly amendment. Thank you, Mayor. And then ACH 123 through 128 in the cost of $209,268.30. So Corey, I guess the floor is yours for those 2
Yeah, I'll
updates.
defer to the staff. I do want to acknowledge both Scott and Chief Wolf sent me responses, and it was 5:45 before I had a chance to assemble it, so that's why I didn't get the email out.
And it's 91 cents, excuse me.
One more friendly amendment. So, yeah, so the
Yeah,
rentals for the radios, and then Scott, for the Vector truck, can you give us a little
The
information?
Vector truck, we have to do adjustments and work on the curb stops, and there was one location where the curb stop was way up by the house. You couldn't reach it from the road, so when the Vector truck went up the driveway, there was a weak spot in the driveway and it broke the driveway apron, so we're responsible to fix that.
Okay, all right. Does anyone have any other questions regarding accounts payable this evening?
So are there any other anomalies where those curb stops are way out off the road?
Well, that was in Plymouth Landing, and pretty much all of the houses in Plymouth Landing, they're way up, out of the right of way up by the house. So unfortunately,
Okay.
All right.
we happened to find the thin spot in the driveway, and when they dug it up to fix it, they found that the concrete wasn't as thick as it should be.
Thank you for the update.
Thank you. All right, so we have a motion on the table. Do I have support for that motion?
Second.
All right. Are there any other questions or discussions? No? Holly, will you call the roll, please?
Weiss?
Yes.
Rhines?
Yes.
Gilroy?
Yes.
Lanyon?
Yes.
Hanson?
Yes.
Pratt?
Yes.
Bellinger?
Yes.
All right, moving along to our action items. Our first action item is the second reading of an ordinance to amend the City of Williamston zoning ordinance to revise Article 2 as to garage orientation, regulations, and multiple family uses. And Corey, you've got a motion or a recommended action in here. Any other information you'd like to share?
Nothing.
No changes since the first reading?
Correct.
Okay, all right. I'm looking for that motion then.
I'll make a motion to approve the second reading and adoption of an ordinance to amend the City of Williamston zoning ordinance to revise Article 2 as to garage orientation regulations and multiple family uses.
Thank you so much. Do I have support for that motion?
Second.
All right, any discussion or questions? All right, Holly, will you call the roll, please?
Rhines?
Yes.
Gilroy?
Yes.
Lanyon?
Yes.
Hanson?
Yes.
Pratt?
Yes.
Bellinger?
Yes.
Weiss?
Yes.
All right, thank you so much. Next, we have our biannual bridge inspection services. And Scott, I believe this is you.
Yep. The city of Williamston is the caretaker of 2 bridges officially in the database with MDOT and Federal Highway Administration. In order for us to continue getting funding for roads and so forth, we have to comply with all the requirements, which means that we have to do bridge inspections every 2 years. And Manick & Smith has been doing that for us recently. They provided a proposal to us back when we were doing our budgeting, and they did modify the wherefores and why nots in the back according to our attorney's recommendations from the last contract, and they made the same amendments here, so.
And this is for the North Putnam Street over the Red Cedar River Bridge, and then
Correct.
also Wallace Street over Deer Creek.
Correct.
All right. Any questions for Scott before I ask for the motion?
Do we have any questions or any thoughts going into this about the Wallace Street Bridge, that there may be some things that come up with that? Or I remember there was discussion a couple of years ago about that. I can't remember exactly what it was.
They could find that we have to do a scour analysis on that bridge, which would be coming back to do an additional contract on things. We have been talking for several years about what to do with that. It's a 1-lane bridge to,
Yeah, correct. Scott, over the years with flooding, have you noticed any deterioration on that bridge?
we
And
look
is
at it
affected?
after the water recedes. It does go over top of the bridge, the Wallace Street Bridge, fairly regularly, I would say. I mean, not multiple times a year, but it does happen.
Okay.
Sometimes twice a year, sometimes it doesn't happen in a year.
Okay.
So, most of the time it comes up just before, or just at the deck level, but doesn't come over it, but sometimes it does.
Okay,
But we take a look at it. We keep in contact with the homeowner at the end there, and they also let us know if they have concerns.
okay, all right. Any other questions for Scott? Tim?
Just the wording of the motion should probably say in the amount not to exceed 3,400, to be consistent with the
All right.
contract time and materials not to exceed.
All right. With that being said, and with that suggestion by our attorney, can I get a motion on that, please?
I'll move to authorize the Manick Smith Group August 12, 2021 proposal for professional engineering services for the 2021 biannual bridge inspections in the amount not to exceed $3,400.
Great, thank you so much. Do I have support for that motion?
Second.
All right, thank you. If there's no further discussion, Holly, will you call the roll, please?
Gilroy,
Yes.
Lanyon,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Pratt,
Yes.
Bellinger,
Yes.
Weiss,
Yes.
Rhines,
Yes.
All right. Moving along, the next action item is the kayak launch parking lot bid results and contingent award. Corey?
Thank you. This is our grant-funded project. We got a grant through the County Millage Program. Officially, it's a DDA project, but the grant runs through the city. So we're bringing this forward now, even though it's not quite finalized yet. The bid results came in significantly higher than our grant award. And so we've been working with the county. They have approved a recommendation at their Parks and Rec Commission level to award us the additional funding plus a 10% contingency. Now it has to go through 2 subcommittees of the county board and then the county board. As of right now, the county is undergoing an audit of the millage fund program, and they are not pushing this forward until that audit is completed. I actually just met with the County Parks Director today on a different matter, but I asked him for an update, and he said they didn't have anything as of yet. The deadline to make it on the September agendas, I think, is September 6th. So what we decided to do is to bring it forward as a contingent award, and the motion notes that it would be contingent on the Board of Commissioners approving the funds. If the funds are not approved, the contract doesn't move forward, and we have to wait for the county to bless the additional funds, perhaps at a later date this year. The other thing to note that is in the memo is we are running into the end of the construction season. So as of right now, the low bidder has indicated they feel that they could complete the project this fall if they have an award by the end of September. That's why we're advancing this on our end, so if the county approves it, we would have a ability to sign the next day. If they don't, then it's likely that we will have to cancel the bids, and then we would look at rebidding once we have the final dollar amounts. So with that, I'll answer any questions.
And also, one thing to note, because this was talked about at DDA and DDA moved it forward for council, with the E.T. McKenzie, they are giving us a 60-day bid guarantee period. So I think that's important to note. But any questions for Corey regarding this? Dan?
So I know we had an earlier delay in the project with some stuff with Eagle. Has that all been worked out and that's good?
Yep, so we have been granted our permitting from Eagle. There was 3 permits, or 3 parts that were granted. And you'll note in the memo that as part of that, they were requiring an isolation barrier. And so even though it looks like Moore Trosper's the low bid, they had a note written that if the barrier was required, so that bumped their price up. So E.T. McKenzie included that in their pricing for the concrete that goes into the river. So as of right now, we have all permits except for soil erosion and sedimentation control, which the contractor will be responsible for applying for that.
Excellent. Any other questions before I request a motion? Okay, who would like to move that motion?
I'll make a motion to approve a contingent contract award to E.T. McKenzie Company at a price not to exceed $203,737.60 for the kayak launch and parking lot project at 400 West Grand River, contingent on the Ingham County Board of Commissioners' approval of additional grant funds to complete the project.
Thank you. Do I have support for the motion?
Second.
Thank you so much. If there's no further discussion, Holly, will you call the roll, please?
Lanyon,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Pratt,
Yes.
Bellinger,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Rhines,
Yes.
Gilroy.
Yes. All right, moving along, our next action item is the Depot Museum lease agreement, and we've also got the president of the Depot, Mitch Litsky, here. So Corey, I'll go ahead and turn this over to you.
Okay, thank you. So out of the blue, about a month or so ago, I got a letter from David Jones saying that Alan had asked for some changes to this document. Alan was my predecessor, which was over 3 years ago, to this lease agreement. And so I wasn't aware that we weren't in an active lease, but after talking with David and going to the board meeting with Mitch, my understanding is that as they were looking to get some pricing on insurance, the insurer said, well, what gives you the ability to be in that building? Hence the lack of a lease. So this agreement largely mirrors the original agreement, which was for a much longer period of time. By charter, I think we can do leases for 10 years, so we're getting back in line with that. We had asked for a couple minor changes that Tim Perone had requested, our city attorney, and then we also asked to do a 5-year term as opposed to 10, with the understanding that maybe in a 5-year term, some of the people might be the same, and so it won't, lack for having a valid agreement. So there's some requirements on the depot board to provide certain levels of insurance. There's city obligations, which basically are all what we do today. So we plow the drive, we salt it, we add the plants to the watering route, and this basically formalizes that arrangement. So you can see that the depot board approved, they authorized Mitch to sign it, and we're looking for a motion to move forward, or any questions or concerns.
All right. Any questions or concerns? Dan?
Sorry, I know I
It's
got all
okay.
the questions. As I was reading through the lease, the only thing I noticed was, I know Deer Creek Park a few years ago, the name of the park was officially changed from Deer Creek to Howard Dahlstrom. I saw in the lease here that it's still referred to as Deer Creek. Does that matter at all?
That's a good question, Dan. So I think you're talking about subsection 1.
Yes.
Which is a legal description. So I might ask Tim if he has any thoughts on that. It's in that first
It's
section.
described in relation to the assessor's plat 1.
Yep.
I don't think the legal description has been changed, but you could, if you needed to, add on to that, now known as.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Keep the Deer Creek Park in there, but you can say now known as Howard Dahlstrom Memorial Park.
Yeah, it doesn't matter to me, I just noticed that. I was like,
It will not affect the validity of the
Okay.
lease.
All right, thank you. Any other questions? All right, I'm looking for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the lease agreement with the Williamston Depot Board for the Depot Museum located at 369 West Grand River Avenue.
Thank you. Do I have support for that motion?
Support.
All right, thank you both. If there's no further discussion or questions, I'll ask Holly to call the roll.
Hanson,
Yes.
Pratt,
Yes.
Bellinger,
Yes.
Weiss,
Yes.
Rhines,
Yes.
Gilroy,
Yes.
Lanyon,
Yes.
All right, thank you. We're on to our last action item, and it is the reappointment of Ken Smizuziak, that's close, to the Economic Development Corporation, TIFA 2A, TIFA 2B, for a term to expire 6/30 of 2027.
I'll make that motion.
All right, thank you so much. Do I have support?
Support.
All right. Holly, will you call the roll, please?
Pratt,
Yes.
Bellinger,
Yes.
Weiss,
Yes.
Rhines,
Yes.
Gilroy,
Yes.
Lanyon,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
All right. That concludes our action items for this evening. Moving along, we do not have any discussion items on our agenda. We did receive correspondence, the fiscal year 2022 Transportation Economic Development Fund, Category B letter, and then also a thank you letter from Mitch Lutzke, who's here this evening. He was one of the honorees for the historical preservation of Williamston during Jubilee on the very final day of our week-long celebration. So thank you so much for that, and thanks for being here this evening.
You're welcome.
We also, let's see, moving along, we've got department head reports. Corey, I'll go ahead and start with you, city manager report.
I mentioned earlier, I met with the county parks director, him and his staff were in town for the walkthrough of our Memorial Park Planning and Engineering Grant. So we took a mosquito-y walk through the park there. As he told me, great project, but everybody's got great projects. So I'm getting the sense that money's gonna be a little bit tighter going forward as maybe a result of this audit that's going on. So they said, great project, great park. They said they didn't even know that that park was there, so it was
Wow.
good to get oriented to that. And they even made a comment that they're updating their comprehensive report that they have to do every so many years, and they were gonna make sure that that linkage was provided in there as well. So to the extent that matters, it just kind of identifies that there's a desire to have connectivity in those.
Excellent, all right. And then it looks like pre-construction meeting with Iron Horse Excavating for Elevator Street.
Yes.
Anything
Yeah,
you
so
want to share with that?
they've mobilized as of today. Scott said that they had equipment and gravel and stuff coming in. And then we noted in there that the big news is gonna be, there will be a shutdown of
Yes.
Putnam Street.
Yep.
So we actually, through the TIFA, approved a change order to add an advanced warning sign. So it'll go up about a week in advance. It'll be the typical, digital construction sign, letting people know when that will happen. And then we'll also be doing, a push through Facebook, and if we can do Nixle, and anything we can to alert motorists to the fact that that will be happening. Right now, it's scheduled for, I think, the second to last week of September, around the 23rd. But as council has been aware over the years, construction schedules are fluid, so we definitely have it where it'll be a week in advance.
Okay.
And that is there's a tie-in that has to happen with the new water main to the existing water mains, and there's a service line for one of the residents over there. Scott had a meeting with the husband and wife that live there, and I think it went well, all things considered, for them to realize what was going on, so.
And it looks like we anticipate that being 2, possibly 3 days shut down, so it won't be a tremendous detour delay. Right here, I gotcha. All right, well, we'll definitely want to make sure that we get the word out as soon as possible, just like Corey said, and we all can make sure that we share that information as well, so that our community is aware of that, because, detours are,
Yes.
orange cones in the summer and detours are not happy things, especially with it being so close to downtown.
We have communicated with the school district too.
Excellent. Perfect. All right, anything else, Corey, that you want to share? Any questions for Corey?
I was just wondering if these TEDF funds were something that we were banking on needing. I know that we were talking in our budgeting that there were a couple of the applications we were really praying for, but.
Yeah,
Great
no,
question.
this would have been a huge one,
Was it?
so
Okay.
for us to not get it it's impactful. I think in the note they said, I don't know, they were overwhelmed with requests.
Yeah.
wasn't unexpected, but they really targeted a lot of really small communities, from what I could tell.
Mhm.
So I think of Williamston as small, but
Right.
compared to a village somewhere,
Sure.
you know, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. All right, thank you, Corey. Chief, how you doing?
Doing great, thank
Good.
you.
All right.
I'm sure as many of you are aware of, today was the first day of
School.
school.
How did that go?
There was a lot of traffic.
Yeah.
There were some crying moms,
Yep.
a couple crying dads. But traffic was very, very heavy. We implemented a few different techniques. There were 4 of us down there directing traffic and trying to help. Still had unhappy people.
Sure.
Things were just going slow for the first day. It's just kind of chaotic. But I think we got the buses out of there in record time. The afternoon, we stopped Church Street traffic. And when those buses came at us at Highland, we just pointed them and they just went.
Awesome.
So they were out of there within less than 5 minutes versus the 15, 20 minutes it normally takes when you get out of there. But that traffic trying to get into the dirt loop we stayed until after 4 o'clock trying to help with traffic, and it was still very heavy.
All right.
So,
Well, we know that that's been a sticking point for many years,
Mhm.
and we know that the traffic loop is the responsibility of the school district, and not necessarily, it doesn't fall onto us, but thank you so much for your efforts, and hopefully, you know, it'll get a little bit more smooth as the year starts to go, and,
and I think it will, once, you know, the parents kind of realize what we're trying to do
Sure.
and to help it go smoother and we all work together, it'll get there.
hopefully some of
Last-
those tears were like tears of, you know, my kids going back to school, happy tears.
Well, I think they were, I saw couple of parents, a husband and wife running away laughing, giggling, we're going on date day.
Okay, good, yeah.
So, you know, call in sick and we're going on date.
It's been a
So
long
that
year
was
for a lot of
humorous.
parents, probably.
And they did come back together, smiling just as much as they left, and
All right.
so that was fun.
Good.
Just on a side note, this has been a long time coming. The county is updating the radio system, going from the old analog system to the 800s digital.
Mhm.
We at the PD held our first training class for 4 or 5 officers today, so I've got a few more to go that'll come individually and catch them on their midnight shifts.
Okay.
But that's scheduled to take place September 7th.
Okay.
I think we may be operating off portables for a little bit till all the cars get done. I think our cars are scheduled to go in mid-September. So we'll run down to NISA. They're hoping to get 10 cars a day through. So hopefully we can get ours done within a day or two and, you know, get those shuttled through. So we should be good to go.
All right.
But it's gonna be a much, much better system compared to what we're all used to. So, looking forward to that.
Back to the school today, how did our crossing guards do? How was it for
We
them?
love our crossing guards.
Okay, good, I want to
They
make
are,
sure that we
they're
recognize that,
happy
they're
to
so
be there,
important.
they're doing good.
Yep.
I mean, everybody knows everybody.
Everybody.
Everybody, they want to chit chat, hey, haven't seen you, boy, I love this chit chat, guys, we gotta go.
Yep, right, exactly,
We gotta keep going, we can talk
exactly.
later, you know.
All right, well,
so.
good. Well,
Yeah,
there's-
no, both Brenda and Terry were there, and they were doing great. and
Good.
I think they're just giddy and happy to be back
Sure,
in their niche.
yes,
They
yes.
did great.
And I'm sure they missed those kids last year tremendously, so it's
Oh,
good to know that
yeah.
they're back.
Yeah.
Excellent. Any questions for Chief? All right. We have our Livingston County Building Report. It was quite extensive this year, and Department of Building and Safety Engineering that takes care of our permitting for the city of Williamston. So if you have any questions regarding that, you can certainly reach out to Corey, and he can help get answers on that. Committee and subcommittee reports. Whoever wants to give a report for any of your boards that you've attended?
Tifa did meet, but we kind of already discussed it in
Yep.
Corey's report. We did the amendment, but we're very excited for Oliver Street to get going and
Yep.
getting that rock and rolling. Hopefully that shutdown will be as optimistic as we hope in only 2 days.
Right, exactly. We had our DDA meeting, and again, you know, that, we talked about that with the, kayak launch and, parking lot bid contingent award that we, wanted to move forward. We also talked about our, southeast corner city parking area in that south, we do still have a little bit of a parking problem. We are communicating with the businesses on that side that there is other parking available for staff and employees over at the United Methodist Church. So we are continually working on that, trying to find a better solution for when our customers do come into town, so that there is parking available. Anyone else for any of their boards?
I just have a general question to Corey and Scott. You know how we do bridge compliance and safety inspections? Where does the footbridge come in down at the end of High Street that goes over to the school? Where does that fall in compliance and regulation and checking?
It does not fall under bridges that are regulated with MDOT. So we just have to take a look at it.
So I have fresh information from this afternoon. So as part of this grant that we submitted, we included a formal bridge inspection. However, they told me today that the county will be taking care of that. They're doing another round of inspections on bridges. They didn't tell me when it's gonna be, but they said that that bridge is included. So they do a structural review of it.
Yeah, 'cause some of the boards in that are getting pretty old.
All right.
Okay,
No,
thank you.
we've had to hire consultants in the past, so it's nice to be able to have the county cover it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely. Any other board members want to share information? No? All right, we have another opportunity again for audience participation. Anybody out there would like to come forward? All right, council member comments. I'll go ahead and start with, Dan Rhines tonight because I let him go last time.
No comments.
All right, Tom Pratt.
Nothing from me, thank you.
All right, Brandon Landy.
Nothing for me as well.
Noah Bellinger.
Nope, nothing for me tonight.
Terry Hansen.
first meeting, I'm glad to be here.
All right, thank you. Jeff Weiss.
I'll pass.
All right. And just for me, just please be aware that there are students, small, going back and forth to school, walkers. Be cognizant of that as you're traveling through town in the mornings and the afternoons, because they are very precious to this community. We're moving into almost fall. Labor Day's in a couple weeks, so I just hope that everybody enjoys the remainder of their summer. It's technically not over, but everybody always kind of marks Labor Day as that. But just enjoy it while it's here. And with that, I will go ahead and request a motion to move into closed session to discuss settlement strategy regarding pending litigation in the matter of Centurion Medical Products versus City of Williamston before the Michigan Tax Tribunal.
So moved.
Thank you.
Support?
Holly, do I need to roll or, yeah, roll please.
Lanyon,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yeah.
Pratt,
Yes.
Bellinger,
Yes.
Weiss,
Yes.
Rhines,
Yes.
Gilroy.
Yes. All right, at 7:27, session at 7:39. All right, so I am looking for a motion to move our closed session forward. Tim, would you repeat that, please?
I would recommend that the city council make a motion to authorize legal counsel to enter into a stipulation for entry of consent judgment in the Michigan Tax Tribunal matter of Centurion Medical Products versus City of Williamston as recommended by the city manager.
All right, thank you so much. Do I have that motion?
So moved.
Do I have support?
Second.
All right, Holly, will you call the roll?
Hanson,
Yes.
Pratt,
Yes.
Bellinger,
Yes.
Weiss,
Yes.
Rhines,
Yes.
Gilroy,
Yes.
Lanyon.
Yes.
All right, and now I'm going to call to adjourn our council meeting at 7:39.